Hi all, welcome to Ryan's Weekly Whatever. This week we're going to be having some fun with AI. Something you may be familiar with, something called AI Dungeon. It's an AI-controlled text adventure game. So I can give it some information about what kind of character I want to play. So I will be I'll be a knight. I will be Sir Ryan the Amazing. And it's going to generate a story here for us. Now this is being generated by AI, so it does take some time in the responses. But it can come up with some fascinating stuff. So you are Sir Ryan, the Amazing, a knight living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a steel longsword and a wooden shield. You are on a quest to defeat the evil dragon of Larian. You've heard he lives up in the north of the kingdom. You set on a path to defeat him and walk into a dark forest. As you enter the forest, you see a large black dragon flying through the air. He is so big that it takes your breath away. The dragon roars as his wings beat against the cold wind. The roar fills your ears and sends shivers down your spine. So now I just tell it what I want to do. So I am going to try to jump on the dragon. See what happens here. Now, in my experience, this can create something either really cool or just really boring or just completely nonsensical. You leap onto the dragon's back and take a seat. The dragon looks at you with its glowing red eyes. It lets out a mighty roar and flies off into the distance. Cool, so I guess I'm riding this dragon now. I am going to take control of the dragon. I found that sometimes you can just straight up bully the game into doing what you want. You sit on the dragon's back and begin controlling it. You tell it where to go and what to do. The dragon flies around for a while before you decide that you want to head south. Okay. So let's take the dragon south to my house. So just go back home with the dragon. See what it has in store for us. You fly south towards my house. You feel like you are going to fall off the dragon, but somehow manage to stay on. Suddenly you hear a voice calling out to you from behind. Hey there, what are you doing? A young boy's voice says. So let's just respond. Flying a super amazing dragon. Want to join us? Let's see if we can take this boy on an adventure. Yeah, the boy replies excitedly. Great, I'll be right behind you, you say, and then you turn around and leave the boy standing there alone. As soon as you get far enough away, you let out a sigh of relief and look at your watch. Okay, guess we're not taking this boy on an adventure. Let's see that it is time for dinner. Let's see what this leads us to. You start walking towards your house, when suddenly you stop. Something catches your eye. It's not a tree or a rock or anything else. It's a small man dressed in white who stands next to the road looking at you curiously. Let's ask the man who he is. You stand still as you try to figure out how to answer this strange man. Who are you? You ask. I'm sorry? Who are you? The man asks, confused. My name is Sir Ryan, and I am a traveler from the kingdom of Larian. I don't like this guy. Let's see how crazy we can get. Stab the man. Because, you know, every good RPG turns into a murder hobo simulator eventually. You swing your sword through the man. You swing your sword and slice the man's throat. Blood splatters all over you and the road. Oh no, oh dear, the man stutters as he falls backwards into the road. So lots of reaction that this can do. But that's not why we're here today. You can go play AI Dungeon yourself if you want. But I am looking to do something a little bit different today. The AI Dungeon runs on something called GPT-2, which is an AI-based text generation model. Now, I don't understand what all that means, but luckily Max Wolf does. And he created a nice little tool for using GPT-2 to generate your own text. So it works off of this little Google Collaboratory. I don't know. It's this Google Code thingy. And I have already gone through this process of essentially taking a piece of text and feeding it into here so that it can generate similar types of text. So what I have done is I have taken the spell list from the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I've tagged the individual spells. And I have trained my model on this spell list. It has learned kind of what spells are, how they're worded, the formatting of them, and it has generated 1,000 new D&D 5th edition spells. Now that sounds really good, but a lot of this is garbage. Partially because there is very little actual text for the D&D spells. Compared to what you would generally use to train an AI, probably like less than 1% of the content I would have liked to use to train this AI. So my first attempt, I actually spent way too long training the AI, and it basically only generated spells that already existed. It would kind of move around what type of spell or level or components or casting time. But the text of the spell generally was something that completely already existed. So I tried again with some less time, and it worked pretty better. It worked a lot better. Got some actually unique stuff, but still a lot of just wholesale recreations. Which is why I'm using this tool here to help weed some things out. This is a plagiarism detector. So I'm trying to see how much it thinks my new 1,000 spells are plagiarizing from the original spell list that I used to train the AI on. So as we can see, we have a lot of things that it doesn't detect. That, like, a lot of this, it probably should be detecting, like, spell names tend to not be too original. As you can see, these are all, a lot of things that are already spells. But we're going to go through and see if we can find some ones that aren't already spells or have some original content to them. So let's do this. And I will be manually checking some of these if they look too good to see if it is actually a spell. But I might miss something because even the computer is missing a lot. So if you notice anything that looks really good, that is actually already a spell, go point it out in the comments. And I won't be offended that I got it wrong because it's not me, it's the AI. And it's still learning. It's got an interesting name here. Prayers and Suggestions, a divination cantrip. You touch one willing creature. Willing creatures that you can see within range. So we get some weird wording here, which is a good indicator, usually, that this is something the AI came up with and not just a wholesale rip of an existing spell. The target can use its action to practice identifying things that it knows are missing from the world For the duration of the spell, the target can ask single question concerning the things that it knows are missing. It can reframe the question as questionable text, as long as you specify a question that is part of a text or a word that describes a thing that it knows is an item. Interesting. So some of these are a little gibberish, but trying to parse what this could actually do. It's at cantrip, which is pretty good. So basically anything we generate as a cantrip is probably going to be way overpowered, because I did not do anything to separate like levels of spells and kind of wording spells. There's not a lot of numbers other than like dice stuff that it can use to actually like keep things at a relative power level. So a lot of this is just going to be crazy stuff. It's got a divination spell. Target uses its action to practice identifying things that it knows are missing from the world. So you can use prayers and suggestions to find things that are missing from the world. We've got a new version of Arcane Eye as a 7th level abjuration. You create the eye of a god you love, a god you care about, or someone you cared about. Approach. The eye changes forms every 10 years. Each time you take the attack action on your turn, on the turn you take this spell ends. You can make one eye up on any creature on a hit. The eye of a god you love points to a target within range. The eye point can't reach an unwilling creature or a creature that is within 5 feet of it. False purpose. Your body becomes blurred and indistinct. For the duration of the opponent can't see or hear you, and you can't affect any other creature's direction. In a word, you can't make sense of what you say. You can seem dumb, fat, or any other differentiating forms of your reality. You can't perceive clearly anything else that you are, or can't perceive the presence of something that you are not. This reads like some weird poetry. Similar to this, the DM determines what things can be spoken, seen, and written as you age. The senses in your body are blind, meaning that you have no way of hearing things that aren't there. Disillusionment from the real world is an effect of 1d8 days old. At higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 8th. I like false purpose. I think I want a false purpose. Rayquaza. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. The creature becomes a ray object made of magical energy. I like that. Beginning of time stop. As you attempt to arrive at a particular point in the time continuum, you can ask a single question as you depart range. The DM offers a short answer and some insight as to how you arrived at the point of departure. Slumber. Sleep. You grant the wish of imprisonment to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, or fall as a free action. A creature that you can see within range must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 6d10 plus 40 force damage. If this creature fails a dexterity saving throw, it is imprisoned for the duration. The spell can't occur again soon. Well, this seems powerful? Like, I'm curious, this seems like it might... This seems like the first actual playable one I've seen. Like, this... I mean, other than, like, it kind of weirdly targets 2 different creatures. I think? Because it says a creature you can see within range, or... You grant the wish of imprisonment to a creature you can see within range. The target must make a dexterity saving throw, or fall as a free action. And then it references another creature you can see within range, which implies it would be 2 separate ones. And then it also makes a dex saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 6d10 plus 40 damage and is imprisoned for the duration. So no way to escape, and the duration is 8 hours? So, seems pretty decent. But the spell can't occur again soon. So, I don't know, I'd interpret that as like, you can use this spell once per long rest, maybe? Once per 10 day? I don't know, I like this one. I might use this for something. Checkmark. Brilliant Aura. Yeah. Requires verbal, somatic, and materials. A pearl worth at least 5,000 gold. Ooh, more time travel magic. This spell gives you the ability to arrive back in time in a different time frame. Good, I like it. So this one seems pretty good. Spellbreaker creates a magical anti-magic field that blocks most non-magical things made of metal and wood. So like this stops everything. Inflicts no damage on creatures or objects. Yeah. I feel like this is just like a perfect like no damage happens unless it's made of something other than magic, metal, or wood. Touch a Death Eater and grant it a measure of protection from death. The warded no longer eat death itself, but instead muddy, lethargic remains that linger on the body for the duration. The warded creature returns to life with 1 life, and a willing creature of your size or small. Oh, we got a new version of Bless, which requires a sprinkly muddy oil above your head for the duration. Just imagine having to like hold like this muddy oil above your head. Bless is a sweet, relaxing ritual that has been around since the dawn of time. Until the spell ends, it rewards attunement to a unicorn, the mythic healing word, a 3rd level necromancy, which casting time of first. You cast it first. Oh, we got another Bless here. You touch a creature and give it a robe or a head covering. The robe or head covering complies with the godly title worn by the target. The target immediately awakens from its slumber by saying its name and complying with the spell. Brutal pleasures flood this worldly entity's sight, hearth, and mind with horrifying effects. Regenerate V. You touch a creature and stimulate its natural healing ability. The target regains 4 hits. Oh, for the duration, no force can attack a creature you can see within range. So perfect protection. You touch 1 willing creature. The target gains a number of divining powers. Alright, well, that was my first attempt at using AI to generate Dungeons & Dragons spells. Looks like I might still need to do some tweaking, maybe get a new model trained. This isn't quite as good as I was looking for, but you know, it did have some good stuff that just wasn't very interesting. A lot of stuff I didn't show where it was just kind of taking different dice numbers and kind of replacing, you know, the numbers in spells, which I guess is making a new spell, but it's just not interesting. A lot of the interesting stuff is interesting as text, but not actually a spell that makes any sense, or is even playable a lot. And definitely no kind of balancing, but not really what we're looking for here. But overall, I had a lot of fun. I'll probably be doing more adventures with AI text generation in the future, and we'll see where it leads us to. And that's Ryan's Weekly Whatever for this week. A little bit different than what we've been doing. I think I might want to do more like this in the future. So let me know if you enjoyed this, or if you've had any adventures with AI, or what kind of stuff you'd like to see me doing with the AI text generation in the future. Until then, I will see you next week! Well, we're here at the end screen. I had a drink. I was going to drink while I was filming, but I was too involved in the filming. I forgot I had a drink until literally right when I turned off the recording. But hey, check out these other videos that I've made.